Welcome to Survival ABCs. When it comes to splitting wood with a knife, there's a lot of things you really got to be careful for. There's a lot of little tips and tricks to it. For example, when you get started, one of the biggest things that I've been hearing a lot of is that when you get started, if you're hitting it on the tip, you're going to break your blade. You got to smack it right on top. It's not until the blade digs in right all the way down to there that you start to move over and hit it all the way down. As you can see that I've been doing this for a good portion of the day, so you got a little bit of wear going on my blade. This is the Cold Steel SRK, by the way. And when it comes to hitting it into the wood, you want to use a nice good size, basically you want to use a wood branch, something of good thickness, a little bit of weight to it. Nothing, you don't want to go too thin and then it's just going to flop around on you. And you don't want to go too big and heavy because at the same time you don't want to wear yourself out. So, nice, simple style. And as you're chopping it over time, you're going to want to turn the block around. As you can see here, I've been doing this earlier on, so this is all chewed up from hitting the top of the blade. The angle of your knife, also important. You gotta keep it as straight as you can. If you keep it to like that, so that the blade is towards you, as you hit it down, you're basically gonna be, as you're chopping it down, it's gonna come towards you, and it might just flop out, and you might just hit yourself and get yourself into a bit of an accident. It's better to be perfectly straight or a little bit away from you. A little bit away from you doesn't hurt anybody because it's away. The only downside so far with using my knife for this is that the point here, so that when I'm hitting it, it tends to, when I'm bringing it down like this, it tends to want to bounce it up this way, so I lose a little bit of power, but even then I just tilt the blade slightly like that, so that way I'm still going to go chopping straight. Overall, right now I'm just at a Provincial Park camping out. I just came here on impulse and had my fire earlier on today, prepared a lot of smaller, finer sticks like this, and I made myself a nice campfire to cook my lunch up. So now I'm just here doing this again, just basically for the sake of my dinner. So here we go. Sometimes, depending on the wood, it may take a little while and a couple of good hits to get it in. So simply just hit it on top. Then once you're simply down in there like that, then you switch over to the end where you can hit it. I'm right-handed, by the way, so normally I will use my knife in my right hand. But for this, I find that I'm just holding it with my left hand, and I get maximum control with the hitting of this in my right hand. If I were to switch hands, I don't have as good control when hitting this around. I'm more likely to miss and possibly hurt myself, or possibly have it slip right out of my hand. Now, right now I'm actually in a sitting position at the moment. You really should not be sitting for this. The only reason why I'm sitting is actually because I just finished swimming and my legs are just so exhausted. So normally you should be down on one knee for this, or basically if using an axe you can potentially just be standing for it, is probably better. When it comes to using your knife, you gotta be careful. When you're using the baton, to hammer the blade down into the wood, you want to use wood. If you use a rock or possibly metal, like a hammer for example, you're going to do far more damage to the top of your blade, possibly even break the blade doing this. Use wood. Wood is going to give out on itself. As you can see, it's already chewed up quite a bit here, and that's why I said you got to keep turning it around just to get better use out of it. I gotta find another one of these real soon. But you know, when it comes down to the smaller pieces, you also got to be careful because they are smaller pieces. They can be a little flimsy and flop around on you. You want to get yourself a good sturdy surface, preferably flat. Unfortunately, you know, if I keep it like this, it's going to walk around like me on this, so so that way at least I got some sturdiness here. So you want to be a little more careful. You want to be a little more gentle by comparison to what you were doing before. You know, that there, I use hardly any force at all, and I barely whack the shit out of it, kind of thing. When you're doing this, just like with an axe, it might be a great idea that you wear some safety glasses, or at least some sunglasses, so that way wood chips doesn't fly up and hit you right in the eye. Believe me, in a survival situation, or any other situation for that matter, it's better that you have some sort of eye protection on. I have my sunglasses today. If I was doing, I don't recommend with the chopping of wood. Normally I would say it's just before the blade comes down and gets the chop, I would close my eyes. But with this, you need your eyes open for this, and I don't recommend closing your eyes on each chop. So, you know, it might be a better idea that you get some sort of glasses on or something of the sort. If you don't have some, then maybe try with your eyes partially closed, not all the way closed, just partially, just so at least you got some form of protection going on there. So basically this is what I'm looking for right here, just something nice, small, simple. And this is what's going to help get the fire going. I'm in a provincial park, like I said, so I can't, you know, cut down trees or use debris around me. I got to process the wood myself. So I'm just getting it to a nice fine point like this, and that way I can set it up as the log house kind of style of getting your fire going. I might actually shoot a little quick video about that later. And basically that's what I'm trying to look for. Just get it nice and thin pieces, so that way the fire will start up a lot more easier. You see, when it comes to the little pieces like this, you know, just tends to flop. You just really got to keep a steady hand for it. Be very careful. And again, just like before, when it gets to that point right there, then you just move over to the edge here. So hopefully this helps you guys when it comes to splitting wood with your knife. Normally I use my axe, but the ground is quite soft here, and I don't have a very good platform to rest my wood on to do chopping with, and my axe is not really all that big enough to do some of these bigger blocks. Also, I got some much bigger blocks in my car, so I gotta, you know, just little by little kind of thing. I gotta get a bigger axe sooner or later. Anyways, this is the Cold Steel SRK splitting wood. This is Survival ABCs. I'll see you around till next time.